welcome back. Uh, so this is my second take on starting off the create mod. Well, going over force, rotational force or speed, something like that. So I'm gonna show you the three ways I remember correctly, and this is also my second take because I already started on like a little bit of part two. It's just nothing. But so I'm gonna show you how to kind of get started and make your first rotational force, which will be a, if you can't tell by what this looks like, it is a water wheel. So to make the water wheel, you're gonna need first to make an andesite alloy, which is 2 iron nuggets and 2 andesite, which will get you 1 andesite alloy. And with that 1 andesite alloy, you want to put it in. Okay, so now with that, we gotta make 2 large gears. It really had to show you. Okay. So now, I hope it clicks. Alright, so you want to put that in the middle of a crafting table, and you want to do 4 planks around it with 4 buttons in the corners. And with that, it will give you 2 large cogwheels. With those 2 large, with the 1 or 2 on your, depending on what you want, you put 1 right there. You put it in the middle, or you surround that in slabs, and I'll give you 1 water wheel. And I'm also gonna grab these engineer goggles and a wrench. I have a lot more misc items crafting at the end, but I'll put this on. I look very, very drippy. Obama look very, very drippy. I'm gonna grab our 4 water wheels, and you will need 2 water buckets or 4, depending on how you do it. But so we're gonna place it like this. Since I'm in creative, that won't matter. So now you see that we have our thing, and there's a certain way you want to do this, because if you do not do it a correct way, let me grab these fins. If you place it like this, you see the fins are like that, or like whatever you want to call this. That's the wrong way, because we're having the water go that way. So you want to put that, or if you have a wrench, I think you could just, no, okay. So you do that, and you want to take out the bottom 2, because the more blocks of water that this hits will do more speed. And with the more speed, I'll get to this actually later. But so now we're gonna put these water blocks, and now you see we have a water wheel. And if you see, it says generator stats, kinetic stress capacity, 256 SU at the current speed. So I'll get to this in a sec, but this will help a little bit. So we have our speedometer. It's alright speed. It's not the best, but 16 RPM. That's kind of what you start at. What's what you use. So then we have here the stressometer, which if you see, hold on, so you guys are not dying, I'm gonna turn that down. But so you see we have remaining capacity at the bottom, 1024 SU, which if you remember correctly should be, nope, it's producing 256 SU per water wheel, and in total that should add up to this capacity. So with this capacity, any item, you'll see here, like kinetic stress impact, down there, it is, so,
yes,
you didn't hear anything. I was watching a bit of Halo, but okay. So, like, we're gonna grab, we're not actually gonna grab, so you see this, connect, sticky piston, mechanical arm. basically, so you can put that on here. This will barely cost any, but you can make this more by just say adding a piston extender pull, which is what I think it means by ram. So it's like times, I think, 4 times ram or something. So if I had a lever, you can see oh, okay, so that's honestly the wrong direction. Okay. But in theory, that should have sent it forward, but I think I don't have a certain thing. But you know, you put it on, it raises your stress, and if you get to the red stress, where if you get to the max stress, I don't really have the best way to show you. If I could find I wonder what takes the most stress. Could just do drills, but 64. Mechanical presses. Okay, yeah, a lot of stress. So if you put enough of these on, see, it's really close. Overstress. Bruh. Okay, so now you see. Now we're overstressed. It stops everything, even the water wheel. So, and you can see here, we're in the negatives there. So that's pretty much the water wheel. Not much. It's kind of. It's whatever. It's good to start off with. Very cheap. Yeah. Here's your crafting recipes if you want to look at it again. So you get 2 per 1 alloy, so you need 2 alloy in total. Now we have our mid tier, which is our windmill. So our windmill here. So the first thing you're gonna want to build is a windmill bearing, which is a turntable, a andesite, and a shaft. So a turntable is a shaft and a spruce slab. A shaft is just 2 andesite alloy. Alright, so now we have that. We're next gonna grab that. And then we need to make sails. So to make sails, you need to get andesite alloy, surround that in sticks, and you'll get 8 frames, I think. And with those 8 frames, you surround a piece of wool, which will get you white sails. So each sail you put on here, which you see I've already put sails on, each sail will give you speed. So it'll give you like not much speed, but it'll give speed. See, I'm an idiot. I mean, actually, hold on. Okay. So now that this is, now that these are done, now we have our windmill bearing and our sails that are already on there. We come over here to our, I don't know what you want to call this, but it's our misc, or like, not misc, but our secondary one. So what you really need is a radial chassis, which is 2 andesite alloy and 3 oak logs, and that will give you 3 of these, which you'll need. And then super glue is honestly optional, because so if you see I have spruce fences on here, you gotta like super glue these on, so like you can, or no, you swap these. You put super glue in your offhand or whatever. You can see there's super glue like everywhere in here, and you can just put it on. It works just like that. It's super glue. Not much really to it. It's I'll show you how to craft it in a sec. I kind of forgot to show you, but there you go. And then once you put it away, all those slime will come off. You won't see it. You'll need 2 slime balls, an iron ingot, and an iron sheet, which I'll actually get to in part 2. Or you can, for the time being, you can actually use slime balls. I think. Maybe it's on only some blocks, but I was pretty sure you could use some blocks. But yeah, so now that you have that. So, now we have this, we are gonna put our windmill bearing here, and a radial chassis there. And then you kind of just right click it and it starts going. But yeah, so the more sails you have on here, the faster it'll go. See here, you see we're at 4 RPM, very, very slow. A lot more capacity than that, because of it's a windmill or something like that. I'm gonna put like some more sails on. I did a square like a little bit ago, or for the first thing I did a square. But to be honest, I didn't have any of this set up at all. It should be a little bit more speed with just that. So yeah, and we're still at 6 RPM, but we did get more capacity. We got about 1,000 more with that just one side. Which we're actually just gonna connect all these. I don't know why I didn't do this before, because I always just come up with this, but now it looks really bad, but that's whatever, because this is all in the name of science. Aperture science, obviously, imagine. And I think if I do this, it should be around 16 RPM. 16 or more RPM, I think. Oh my, wow. It rains very often. It didn't even rain the first time I did this, so. Now that's there, we are gonna, yeah, a lot of more speed, 13 RPM. 6,000 capacity. So yeah, very good in mid game. It's not much about the speed, because I really should have grabbed these before, because speed you can, obviously, if you know, you can just do this. You can gear, large gear, small gear, large gear, small gear, large gear, small gear, or small gear there. The speed will not count there, it'll count here, but yeah, you see. Moderate at 52 RPM, but that's how you get more speed too. But yeah, so you'll use gearboxes to get down, and then yeah, you just kind of transport the power down there and put it on whatever you need, and so on, so forth. And that's pretty much the windmill. Yeah, so like I said, the more sails you have, the faster, the more RPM and stuff this will produce. And yeah, so that's that. I just got rid of my wrench and my engineer's goggles. Alright, now we're here. The late game, when I say really, really late, I mean like you won't have this like for a while. I mean, depending on how you are. So you're gonna look here and you're gonna be scared. Not really. I don't expect you to be scared. But so, you know, what we have here is brass casing, or not brass casing. Actually, 2 brass casing, a lot of brass ingots, a brass sheets, and a sticky piston. So this will get you a flywheel, and this will get you an engine. And then you can either use a blast furnace or furnace, because these are literally just like coal engines or whatever you want to run this on. And so what you do is, you can see I kind of already have a little setup here. So for this setup, we're going to put a flywheel here, a flywheel here. And we're going to put a furnace engine like there. I'm going to put one there. So honestly, there's no really. Actually, I kind of wish I didn't get rid of that now because I always think of stuff last second. I don't know where this is. So now we have this, and so here we have our regular furnace. We'll put it in. We'll get 16 RPM, 16,000 capacity. Really, really good for late game because there's a lot of capacity in this. But just say you want more speed, you can come to a blast furnace, and you'll get 32 RPM. And you will have 32,000 capacity. So yeah, this is pretty much just double what you get. Double. So, and I mean, it even says it, I think. So you can hold W on this, and it'll show you stuff. So yeah, it'll show you what. But yeah, this is the engine. Just not really much to it. It's kind of just an engine. It can have multiple around your bases, depending how rich you are on brass. But yeah, there's that. You got our speed and whatever. I just realized I can change that. But yeah, you see, just straight up double. So yeah, very, very nice for late game. I got rid of my wrench again. I don't even know why I have my wrench, but it's just there. So this is a misc box I was kind of talking about. So for a lot of stuff, you'll need brass casing or andesite casing and brass casing. Well, for the brass casing was for those. Brass casing is 2 brass sheets, an oak log, and 6. Or it doesn't matter what plank or what oak or what wood you have. It can be any type. But yeah, so we have that. Now we have our brass casing. And then we have our golden sheets. Okay, sorry. I was doing it in order. Okay. Then we have our andesite casing, which is 2 andesite alloy and oak logs. And it's just the same recipe, but instead of brass casing, it's andesite alloy. So now with this, now we're gonna do the wrench, which is right here. It's 3 golden sheets, a cogwheel, and a stick. So a cogwheel, I did not put this on the recipe, but it is just an andesite alloy surrounded in buttons. It's, yeah, a lot easier. Okay, so now we have the engineer's goggles, which, it's very important. 2 white stained glass, golden sheet and string, and that will get you the engineer's goggle. I'll show you what it kind of does without it. So you see, it kind of shows you're getting that. You take these off, it won't show you. But now we're gonna but we'll show you the crafting recipe for the speedometer / stressometer, because you basically craft it like this with the casing, the andesite casing, and you'll get a speedometer. And with the speedometer, just say you want a stressometer instead. You go in your crafting table and you just put it in there, and you can change these. It's basically just you can just keep on doing that until you're satisfied and whatever you wanted. So now that that's done, there's one more thing I'm gonna show you with the shafts and andesite casing, or not even the andesite casing. So you can cover shafts with andesite casing. So that's something to know. I don't think you can, yeah. But you say just click it, like you regularly place a block, and it'll go on to it. So yeah, and that's that. And I got one more thing to show you, which is a gearbox. Gearbox software. Yeah, it's gearbox software. Okay, so gearbox is just an andesite casing and cogwheels surrounding it. So gearboxes can so I'm gonna take that off for a second. Just say you need to turn this so it goes somewhere else. You can do that. Here, I'm grabbing a vertical one as well, but so you turn that there. And just say you want to go up, use the vertical, and that will go up and stuff. So craft the vertical one. It's practically the same with the stressometer. The stressometer and the speedometer or speedometer or something like that. It's just back and forth, whatever you're pleased with there. So that's pretty much how to get force, how to start contraptions. So that's pretty much the force of whatever you want to do. Or not. God, I'm really making stuff up here. It's how to get force, how to start. Just say you're like somewhat in the very beginning, have iron armor. I recommend making a water wheel, and then I recommend when you're diamond, you make a windmill, and then I recommend that because just now that you're smelting a lot of stuff. You could have this. You can run it the whole time, and if you grab a chute, I'm not gonna go over the crafting recipe, but I will in the next video. You should be able to put that on top, I'm pretty sure, and grab a chest. It's basically just a hopper, but if I grab my wrench, you can actually do stuff like this where you can see the inside and it's in there. You can also grab it out of there. But yeah, so another more thing. Yeah, you stock up on iron ore, which there's actually a really good way for iron ore in this. Just put it up there. You grab coal as well. There should be a way to supply us with coal, if I remember correctly, but you just put coal in there, and yeah. So that's pretty much the beginning of this mod. I kind of forgot to show you that. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, and I'll make part 2 maybe like tomorrow, maybe later in the day, because if you can't tell, I'm very, very sick. One of my family members has COVID, so yeah, not too well right now, but so yeah, see you next video, and kind of thank you for support, because yeah, it sounds weird saying that, but because literally anybody can get 1,000 subscribers nowadays, but usually they're like little kids who make really shitty Minecraft videos that are like how to build a wood plank. Sorry about the language, but it's true. I gotta admit it. Sometimes that just happens. But yeah, that's whatever. Yeah, so see you next video. And yeah, goodbye. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks for watching.